Hi, I hope you're doing well today. My name's Tom Griffith. I'm a pastor in the Jamaica Plain portion of Boston, and I every once in a while during this Lenten season am doing something I'm calling Lenten Inspiration. So be some different thoughts to help you, to help me focus our attention on God, kind of refocus, repurpose our lives. During Lent, which goes from Ash Wednesday all the way up through Resurrection Sunday at the end of March, it's a chance for us to focus and repurpose and take stock of the internal state of our deep souls. You know, it's a time to, in a sense, set ourselves apart for God in a fresh way. That's in the same spirit of Jesus in the desert after he was baptized. He was in the desert for 40 days in what's called the wilderness or desert, where he's alone with God, and it was an opportunity for him to rid himself of the distractions in his life, and that's an opportunity for us to do the same, but we have to do it intentionally. So we have this period of time. I want to help you focus and help myself focus at the same time. To, in a sense, move beyond the mental exercises of faith, beyond assenting to the right principles and doctrine and theology, and move into a place of the practical or the experiential of faith, aspects of faith. And when I say that, I want to also caution you to not jump into the kind of religious activity. There is great value in activism and service, but the spirit of Lent is that desert experience. It is stripping down to the place of self in relationship with God, to that place of being alone, being at peace, resting, and being with God. So that's really what we want to be focusing on and touching over the next few weeks. Today, I'd like to talk about two particular spiritual disciplines that might help you along that way. One is silence. And by silence, I simply mean to stop external input. Stop the things that are coming your way. Now, when was the last time you did that? Usually we have something, whether it's our phone or internet or TV or music or things that are coming toward us. Silence is stopping the external input in our lives. That can be really hard. It can start to bring up a lot of insecurity. We're so used to things being stuffed into our lives that it can be difficult. We might have to fight a level of addiction. We don't even recognize that we're addicted to the input because it's a kind of false comfort that seems like it's putting our soul at ease when actually it's just busying our soul. So the silence has two dimensions. One is stopping that external input, but I have an extra credit level for you too, and that would be to stop the internal output. So one level of silence is to stop what's coming in, and that level of silence is very valuable, but you could still be stopping the input, but in a state of meditation or prayer or journaling. But another level of silence is to stop that internal activity that's pushing out also. So you're being silent from the outside in and the inside out. That takes a little more effort, but it leads into the other discipline I'd like to bring before you, and that is stillness. Silence can lead to stillness. You cannot experience stillness without silence. You can't. So many people have a hard time even practicing silence. Some can do silence, but they have a hard time getting to the level of being still. And when I say stillness, I'm basically saying just to simply be present with God. Being, not doing, not racing in our mind or even thinking strategic or intellectual or complicated thoughts, but simply being. It's like sitting at a table with a friend that when you don't need to say anything, you're just in their presence because you feel comfortable with them. You may remember from Revelation 20, verse 3, we have a picture of Jesus speaking to a church, and he says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I'll come in to him and eat with him and him with me." Just being still, fellowship with the Lord. So that can be kind of a difficult challenge for many in our day. It takes practice. This is a time of year that's designed for some of that practice, but you have to carve out space for it. So let me give you 3 ways to even practice a little more or exercise that stillness. One is, it might be helpful to you to use the image of wading into a stream. That picture a warm day, you're walking into a stream, you're in up to your waist, it's nice temperature, maybe it's up to your chest, you're there, but there's some things that float down the stream. They're like your thoughts that come down through your mind. Some people trying white-knuckling their way to a place of stillness, they try to fight every thought as it comes by and try to stop it, but you can't stop the stream. Others, the thoughts come by and they lay hold of them and they follow them where the thoughts go, but that doesn't lead you to a place of stillness. Best is to simply let them drift by. You acknowledge them, but you just kind of let them go. It takes practice to let it go. So that stream analogy or that stream picture can help you to just learn how to get closer to a place of stillness. Others find it helpful to be aware of their breathing or their breath. And what I like to share sometimes is the idea that, God's been sustaining your breath all day. You haven't been concentrating on it. God's sustaining your breath all the time. That's kind of the way it is with His presence. He's with you. You just haven't been paying attention to it. He's been sustaining your life spiritually as well as physically. And when you pay attention to your breathing, you can relate that to paying attention to His Spirit, to His presence. Acknowledging that He's with you. Allow yourself to feel your breathing, to hear your breathing, to experience the rhythm of your breathing. And allow that to help you to simply be in His presence. Almost Psalms describe as a weaned child just being in the presence of their mother. So there's a wading practice. That image can help you into the river, or there's breathing. The third one I'd say is that some find it helpful to enter in with their imagination into a passage or a scene of Scripture. Could be that you enter into Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. The idea that He leads you beside still waters, into green pastures, and you can feel it. You allow your imagination to be that, to experience those things, and you're present with the Lord as He's leading you. Or it could be that you enter into a scene of one of the gospel stories of Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, and look at a story where Jesus is there, and you're entering slowly into the scene. And I say slowly because you're not there to study, you're not there to learn, you're there simply to experience and to be present with God. As you want to redirect your life and come back to some of the foundations of your life during this Lenten season, I think one of the first valuable things to do is to slow yourself down. Lay hold of some silence. Lay hold of stillness. See what God is doing and how you can just be with Him. And out of that place, now you can enter into places of prayer. Now you can enter into places where you're receiving and responding to His Word. But consider practicing silence and stillness. So again, this season is a season for you to redirect, simplify, still your life. I want to be of some benefit if I can. I hope this is of some value to you. Anyway, have a great day, and I will do a few more of these over the Lenten period. Catch you later. Bye-bye.